Hey guys, welcome back to ShuttleSquad episode 49. This week, another special episode, another guest episode. A few weeks ago at the Paris World Championships, I had the honor to talk to Hans-Kristian Vittinghus, in my opinion, one of the most entertaining players that we had on the tour in the last decade. Amazing character, and now also in a super interesting new position as men's singles coach for Denmark. That's obviously something that we had to talk about. We talked about his career highlights, his new position, and also his first World Championships. Not as a player, but as a coach. It was a really interesting one, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Episode 49 of ShuttleSquad with Hans-Kristian Vittinghus. All right, yeah, guys, we're here at the World Championships. We're here at the hotel room. Hans-Kristian, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for the invitation.
And also thanks for letting us record this in your hotel room.
I have a big room, so why not take advantage of that? Yeah?
Yes, this is a really special interview for me, actually, or really special episode for me, because actually you were the first ever player that I interviewed at the Bitburger Open 2013.
Oh, that's many years ago. Yeah?
Yes.
But it's one of my favorite tournaments, actually. I always did well in Bitburger, so I always enjoyed going there.
Yeah, I remember that you won the year before, right? 2012?
I remember I won one year, but I'm not sure which year it was. I lost the final, and then I came back and won the following year.
I think you won in 2012. In 2013, I was volunteering for the first time in the media team. Okay. And then it was, can you interview last year's champion?
Yeah, okay.
And I was super nervous. Super nervous. I've never interviewed a badminton player before. I was just playing since I was a kid.
Okay.
And then it was like, okay, I'm doing my first interview. And it's in English.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there with my hands shaky like that. But you were really nice.
Oh, that's good to hear. That
was a really good experience.
And I'm happy you did it in English, not German, because your English is much better than my German.
But my Danish is not there at all, so English was the best way to fit in.
Sure.
You're here now as a coach, not anymore as a player. But let me ask you two questions regarding your career as a player first, because I think your highest world ranking was number 8.
Correct.
But you never played any Olympics.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately.
How frustrating was it as a player to be Danish?
Well, in the only way it was frustrating, I would say, was that I didn't get to play the Olympics. Apart from that, I think it was a big advantage, actually. I'm pretty sure if it had not been for Peter Gade, Kenneth Jonassen, Jan Jørgensen, Victor Axelsen, Anders Antonsen, all the guys
names.
Yeah, all the guys that were better than me.
Yeah.
If it weren't for them, my highest ranking would not have been 8. It would maybe be 20 or 30 or something like that. Because the big advantage was that we were pushing each other all the time. Yeah. And without those guys, I wouldn't have won Thomas Cup, because we only won that because of the depth of the squad. So I think I achieved a lot more because of the other guys. Of course, I would have loved to play the Olympics when I was a kid. What I dreamt the most about was winning Olympic gold. And that was not possible because there was always 2 guys better than me. I managed to stay top 16 in the Olympic qualifying twice. So I could have gotten picked by the federation. But the first time it was Peter and Jan who were a little bit above me. And the second time it was Jan and Victor. So it was, of course, tough in those situations, but actually both times I was very happy with what I achieved during that Olympic qualifying year. In both qualifying periods, I managed to improve my ranking and get better. So I think I did everything I could, and that's basically what you can just evaluate on after that. I just had to admit I wasn't quite good enough compared to those guys, but there's no shame in that.
But having such a world-class squad always around you, and then also having those two guys always before you but many more also behind you, how much did it mean when you actually won your first national title in 2023?
Yeah, so a lot of people, especially in Denmark, were asking me about that often, because I lost 5 or 6 national finals. And to be honest, I've never dreamt about being the best in Denmark. It never really took any focus for me that I wanted to be the best in Denmark. I always dreamt about All England, Thomas Cup, and the Olympics. And nothing national. I never thought, being the best in Denmark, that would be great. For my finances, it would have probably been good if I was number one in Denmark. But I always thought with those Danish nationals where I lost finals to Jan and to Anders and Victor. It's like, it's not bad. I lost to guys who were top 5 in the world at the time, or top 10. So I thought it was actually pretty natural that I didn't really win the nationals. I had 1 year where all the best guys were out, and I should have won, and then I completely flopped in the semifinal.
Because you wanted it too much, or just a bad day?
I would say I probably was a bit nervous because I felt like it was a huge chance. And at that time, I was much better than the other guys that were in the tournament. Overall, of course, I wasn't on the day, but in general, I was better, right? I think the part I enjoyed the most about actually winning that national title when I was 37 was that I got the record of being the oldest ever to win the men's singles title, and I'm a big record and data geek. I love watching NFL where there's records for anything. Right? So now I'm very happy that I can say I'm the oldest ever men's singles champion in Denmark. So of course it was very nice, but it was never a thing that haunted me or anything that I felt like, okay, it's something really missing in my career. I didn't think about it that way.
But I understand that people maybe thought it would be something really important for you.
Yeah.
Because there was always some guys on top.
Yeah, and of course also when you lose the final, I think it was 6 times, then every time it adds a little bit extra, right? So I understand the story around it and why it's something that everyone is talking about at the time, but it was just never really took up that much of my focus, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably something that Kirsty Gilmore would have had something to say about, because she lost, I think, 6 European Championship finals against Caroline Marin. So she knows that feeling a lot. But as you said, Kirsty and Christo both preparing for their matches here tomorrow, so sadly not here today.
But I would say if I lost 6 European Championships finals, that would hurt me more than 6 national championship finals, because obviously the international part is what I think is more important, or more that's fun to chase those goals. It's bigger, of course. And I can actually say it took me 7 unsuccessful tries before I actually managed to qualify for the main draw of the All England. The first 7 times I played the All England, I lost in the qualifying.
7 times?
Yeah, 7 times. And that hurt a lot more than losing 6 national finals. Because, again, as I said, All England is one of the 3 events that I always dreamed about when I was a kid. I played it the first time when I was 18, and then played 7 years in a row, lost in the qualifying 7 years in a row. So I would say that's more of a trauma for me than the national championships. The first time I qualified was when I actually started in the main draw, so I never successfully played through the qualifying rounds.
Funny. But we hope that Kirsty maybe someday will win a European title.
We support you, Kirsty. We support you. You're not beating Danes.
She might have to get that title. I mean, her last final was this year? Horsens was this year. Where she lost against Dine Kjærsfeldt in the final. So that's probably also kind of your final, when she thought, okay, I really have the chance now because Carolina's not here. But Line took advantage.
That's how it is in sports.
That's how it is with the Danes. Now you're here with in another role, new role, kind of new. You are now men's singles coach in Denmark for a few months now.
I started full time on the 1st of June, but already on the 1st of January I started getting into it part time. Jonas Lyduk had the main responsibility from the 1st of January, but I was there at a minimum 3 times a week, but most of the weeks I was actually there every day, just not full time, because I still had also a coaching job in my club Visiion, and I still had to play league matches also for my German club, my Danish club also. So and I had some other also engagements with the Polish Badminton Federation that I also had to kind of wrap up. So I had a lot of different jobs,
a lot of things going on,
assignments. So I would say on the 1st of June, when I got into just full time at the national team, it was actually a big relief because I could just focus on one thing and not try to do my best in various different roles. So I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm also juggling a few jobs at the moment, so I kind of know the feeling.
It has some advantages sometimes in terms of like planning your time and stuff, but it was really a relief for me at the end when I could just say, now it's just full focus on this job. Yeah,
mentally it might be easier, and then just go on one thing. Okay, that's pretty cool. But then does it also mean now that you are full-time coaching, are you still playing some league matches yourself?
I can never like fully retire from playing. So in this coming season, I will play for the second team in my Danish club, which is in the second highest league in Denmark.
Okay.
At least that's the plan. If they want me to play and if they pick me for the team, but so it's still like pretty high level, and I try to still come for training also, because I still just really love to play badminton. I don't have quite as much time, and now I'm also doing a lot more running. All of a sudden, I love that. So
you can do it whenever you want, right? It's also, something that helps.
But I'm also getting older, so if I'm running a lot and I also want to play a lot, my body is not always reacting exactly the way I want. But I want to still play, and it would have been okay for me to also play maybe one foreign league. But when you are in the national team in Denmark and you're fully employed, you're not allowed to have other jobs, which it would be to play in a foreign league. So I just have to make do with playing in the Danish second best league, and that's also fine. As long as I can play badminton, I can go for training, it's fine.
But because you played for a German club also this year, and they made it to the German league finals.
Blau-Weiß.
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, didn't win it all in the end. But could you have, like, you didn't have enough matches to be able to play in the final? But if you would have had enough matches to play, would you have been allowed? Okay, a lot of ifs. But would you have been allowed to play from the federation side, or?
I don't know actually, because it was never really relevant. Because already when I started playing my first matches for that club, it was clear that I wouldn't get to play enough. So I don't know. Maybe they could have made an exception for one match, also because the match was in August, right? It was this month, right? Yes. And there was like a long waiting period from the semi-final to the final. So I don't know. Maybe they're usually not like so strict there. So maybe, but it was never relevant.
Okay, but if somebody still wants to see you play, it's second league in Denmark.
They can see me play there. They can go on YouTube and watch them all matches. I play almost the same still.
Yeah, there's a lot on
just a lot slower. But I have to say, when we were doing training in the main hall today. And I had to do some feeding with Gemke and Anders, so I was on court, and I had a really bad feeling of like, I want to get back on this court and play. Like, I wouldn't have any chance to beat any of the guys that are here, but it was it was a really nice arena, and I really had a strong feeling of I missed that exact situation. And I would say in general, I don't miss playing on the tour, because I don't miss all it takes to be competitive at this level, all the training, all the sacrifices, and all the time away from the family. I don't miss that part at all. But like the exact match situation, going on court and measuring yourself against the best in the world, I miss that part, and I think I always will, because I just have that competitiveness, a competitive nature.
But I mean, the part of traveling a lot and being away from family, that kind of stays with your job, right? Because you also
that's true. But that was also my biggest concern about taking this job, and which is also why I made an agreement where I have to travel a little bit less. So I won't have as many travel days as I had when I was playing. And of course, for some of the players, it can be a little bit annoying that I won't be traveling so much. But what's fortunate is the men's singles group. Right now in the national team, we only have Gemke, who's really consistently playing on the world tour. The rest of the guys are playing more of the smaller tournaments. So I can still go to a lot of those tournaments without having the same amount of travel days. So like I'm going to Belgium International where it's just...
It starts Thursday, right?
Yeah, so it's from Wednesday to Sunday I'm going. Whereas if I was going to Asia, it's often 16, 17 days because you take 2 tournaments in a row, right? It won't stay like that forever, hopefully. Hopefully the players will improve and get onto the World Tour. That's the goal.
True.
But for now, that's how it works. And it has the other advantage that I'm more in the daily training. So I can help with the daily training more than a guy who's maybe like Kenneth when he was the main coach. He was traveling maybe 130, 140 days a year. So obviously he's only in the training hall half of the year, basically. Where I can be there quite a bit more. So it has advantages and disadvantages both.
How was that transition for you from player to coach, like kind of switching sides? Is it sometimes weird being with the players and having that role and not being part of the team anymore, but being on the other side making the decisions?
It is for sure different, and I can also feel that it is affecting my personal relationships with some of the players.
That would have been the next question.
It is for sure, because it is just different. It's also one of the reasons why I had this podcast, as you know, with Anders, the Badminton Experience, and I felt it was not right if I did something on the side with one of the players and not with all the other players. So if we are in a situation where I have to choose between Anders and some other guy and I choose Anders, will someone think it's because I'm closer to Anders than Victor or Gemke or whoever it could be, right? And also in the hall when we're training or if we're eating lunch together after, I'm a little bit more wary about my words, like what I say. I was joking a little bit more freely before. I'm still joking, it's not like that, but maybe I would say my humor sometimes with the group when I was a player could be inappropriate. And everyone understands that when you're just part of the group. But when you're suddenly the coach and you have some power, you have to be a little bit careful with that, because if it doesn't hit 100% at the correct time and it's misunderstood just a little bit, it's
then it comes from the coach.
It comes from a coach, and I'm in a position of power, so it changes the dynamics a little bit. And I still say I have a great relationship with all of the players. It's nothing like that. It's just you have to think, at least in my opinion, a little bit different. There will also be situations where, like all the guys that are in the national team now, almost all of them, I had a personal relationship to before. But at some point, someone will have to be kicked out or not be selected for something, and I will have to deliver that message. And that's maybe a little bit harder when it's someone you also have a personal relationship to than someone you have more distance to.
Is that in general tough for you to have those situations with like social situations where you have to be you know it's going to be not comfortable for the other person, and then for me, for example, I cannot have this. It's so tough for me when I'm having discomfort in social situations.
I'm for sure not. I'm not enjoying it. That's for sure. I think I've been in enough situations as a player where I wasn't picked or got a message that I didn't really like, to know that when you give that message as a coach, it's just quite important to be pretty clear and like don't bullshit the one sitting on the other side. So I think I have a small advantage in that way, but I don't think I will ever be the kind of person where I'm thinking it's not a problem. Let's just go in and get it done, because I know how much time and energy they invest into this project of being a world-class badminton player. So I think it will always be tough.
And being in that situation before obviously helps, I guess.
I think so, but I haven't been in a situation yet where I've had to throw anyone out of the system or not elect them for the World Championships or Olympics or stuff. So I don't know how I will feel in the situation yet, but that is for sure my goal, that when I get into that I'm very clear and upfront with the player. So hopefully I can keep on that promise.
Yes. People can come back to this episode and show it to you. You said it would be clear.
yeah, that's true.
But in general, becoming like a coach now, what are the things that you bring in most from your previous career as a player?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think what I've learned the most from many of the coaches, but especially Kenneth, who was obviously my coach for many years, Kenneth Jonassen, is that not all the players are the same. I think he was a complete master in managing the different players. So he had Jan, Victor, and me in my generation. And Anders also, and we are like completely different players, but also humans. With like you cannot talk to me the same way as you can talk to Victor. Some things are more important to him than it is to me, and the other way around. So you really need to be able to see people, or see the players for the people they are, and not just the players they are.
Sure.
And you cannot build up. Like all we do is group-based training basically in Denmark, or not all, but most of it. But you cannot do all the exercises exactly the same if you're now it's Gemke and Mads Christoffersen and Magnus Johannesson, because they also have different skill sets. So you need to be able to adjust according to the player, both in the hall but also off the court. I think I have a pretty good understanding of that because I've seen it work for many years, and I've always had good talks with Kenneth about it also. So I think I can bring in some understanding of that. I think also one of my strengths actually is that I'm very curious and eager to learn. So I don't go into the job thinking I know everything, because we've done it for us in a certain way for the past 20-25 years. We obviously had very good results in Danish men's singles, but I'm pretty sure there are still things that we can learn and other ways of doing it that can also work. And I'm very open-minded to that, and so I hope I can kind of bring in something new also. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I'm just I'm hoping for that, because I'm a strong believer that if you don't develop, then you're just gonna stagnate, and it's just gonna basically you'll be declining because everyone else is searching to get higher and higher and higher, right?
Yes, and especially I mean in Europe overall, with you being the top nation for so many years. I mean, France pushing really hard now.
For sure.
Especially in men's singles.
Yeah.
Because they definitely did something different than before, or better than they did before. Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, because one of my questions was what things are, like, it's super tough to answer, but what are some things that you wanna, I don't know, change, find a new approach to whatever?
I can say the first thing I did when I got in was that I wanted to make sure that the internal competition was stronger, because when I actually got into the national center, we had a very small group. Now we got in 2 more young guys, and we are trying to invite more of the players that are not in the national team but are like just outside, both from the Copenhagen area but also from Jutland, which is different part of the country. So we will invite them over for 2, 3, 4 days at the time, which I think is both good for their motivation, and they can go back to their training environments and maybe add some new motivation, some new exercises and all this kind of stuff. But it also helps actually pressuring the guys that are in the national center, that no one is certain on their spot, and I'm not trying to make them like nervous and like, oh, we're going out if we're not performing now, but it adds a competitive environment where you need to push each other. And I really believe in that we need to push each other. Like it is, I think, the Danish way that we try to gather all the best players. I still believe in that, but it's also quite important that it's, there's some kind of dynamic where you push each other and you're not certain of also being there in 1 year or 2 years. We still try to think long term, so it's not like I'm throwing anyone out tomorrow because they lose a match in training, but just to try and improve that competitive spirit and internal competition. So that's one of the things I did at first, and which I think is a little bit different from before. And now it will be even easier for us to also do it, because one of the things that made it hard before is that we actually only have 6 courts in the national center. that are really playable. We have 8, but 2 of them are like the flooring is very bad. So we have 6 courts, and we have like 30-35 players, singles and doubles. So it's just difficult to take in a lot more, because then you will be 5, 6, 7 players per court. But in November we will get to 11 courts instead, which will be a game changer in that aspect.
Almost double,
Yeah. So
same hall still, but
same hall. Yeah, they're just changing the flooring and the layout a little bit, which makes it possible to have 11 courts instead of 6.
Yeah, that's really cool. But then you also need more coaches, right?
Yeah. And I can say with the hiring of me, we already did that. So now we have 5 full-time and 1 guy who's almost full-time. So Jonas Lyduk, he's like, I think something like 32 hours a week, and a full-time in Denmark is 37. So he's almost full-time. But he's in a position where he's, we call it a transition coach. So he's focusing both on from under 19 up to under 23. But he's also at most trainings on the national team. So he's trying to make sure we get the right young players in. And
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's also super interesting, because in Germany we have that system where we have 2 national training centers. And then we have now it changes a little bit every a few years. Then they change it to try something new. I think in the beginning, when I was younger, it was like women and men. Then they had singles and doubles. And now they have kind of elite and under 25.
Okay.
But that's exactly the opposite way, basically. Because you divide them, and for example in Saarbrücken, where the elite training center is, you only have 2 men singles. And that's tough. Because the competition, as you say, the competition is not really there.
No.
So those 2 have they can train with each other. But
I think at least for Denmark, I think we're too small of a country to really keep us divided that way.
I think it's a political thing mainly in Germany also.
But I think it's quite interesting, because now you mentioned France yourself, that those guys are not training together, all of them. So Alex also, and the Popovs are not training together on a daily basis. Arnaud also, not with
is
the
he
Popovs.
also not with?
I think Arnaud is in INSEP, right?
With Alex.
Lanier. They've never really been together, all of them. So obviously that's also a way you can do it, and I think it's interesting.
It can work,
it can work, because obviously now they have 3 guys in top 15, right?
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Crazy, and I think it's amazing. So obviously, I hope that Denmark can be dominating and we can win. And I would lie if I say it didn't hurt to see the European Championships in Denmark with 0 medals for Danish men's singles. But for so many years,
didn't participate. It's not that you lost.
There was only Magnus played and Gemke played also. So I think they would have potential to win a medal. Sure. But anyway, I think for so many years in Denmark, there's been people saying but there's no competition in Europe. And now when the competition is here, people are complaining that it's not going so well in Denmark. So what are we doing wrong? I think it's amazing that the competition is here, because I think it can push us. And I was discussing it with the other coaches on the way here, that this European Championship was much more fun than some of the previous ones. So I would say now the 2-3 last ones where France has really been getting better and better. It's more fun because the pressure is higher. There's more at stake. Where in the past, and it can maybe sound a little bit arrogant, but you wouldn't rate the European Championships in the same way as you will today. So when they win now, it's a huge deal. I'm not saying it wasn't great winning the European Championships, but it's even better when you're actually competing with some that you see that are just as good or even better in some of the categories now.
Obviously. So, I think that people do understand this, even though I think maybe for some it might sound arrogant, but if you look, I don't know, if you compare it with football and you have German league with Bayern Munich winning for 20 years and they win a championship, and it's it's not nothing special.
No, exactly.
But when last year another club wins, and then suddenly it means something again, you know?
I can say I have a good example of it, in the European men's championships. I'm not sure we have ever lost Denmark. Maybe we have many years ago, but I played also the European Mixed Team Championships in Russia in 2014, where we lost the final to Germany.
13,
in Ramenskoye, I think it was called, in Moscow, just outside. But anyway, we lost that one, and it's the one European Team Championships where we have gotten the most attention from Danish media. because we didn't win. Yeah. So it says a lot about like what it's just an expectation that we win. It wasn't anything special. And then when we came back the next time and we actually won it back, it felt so nice. Like it was a completely different feeling. Yeah. So in that way, I think it's great to see that France is coming up. But again, of course, I hope we will be better. Beat them and win the medals. But
sure. If you always win, it's boring. Kind of.
Yeah, I don't know if it's boring, but it's more fun if you're competing.
Yeah. I think you have to lose sometimes to enjoy winning more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
But when you say you have this whole group together now, isn't it sometimes also frustrating for you to not have your two top guys with you in this setup?
Sorry. Yeah, for sure. I would love to have Anders and Victor there on a daily basis. So leading up to this World Championship, Anders was there for the past 4 weeks,
cool,
which was great. But I would also say in some ways frustrating because when he's not there, I was thinking, okay, things are getting better and better. But then when he comes in, you actually see the difference from being, all of the guys I have are very good players, but obviously Anders is a different level, and you see the difference in terms of quality when he's there, which is, I'm sure, a good thing to remind us that we still need to push harder and try to push for an even higher level. But yeah, again, also a little bit frustrating in some ways. But obviously, I would love to have them both there at the full time. It's probably not going to happen. But I really hope that we can get into a situation where we at least have a closer relationship to them, where they're home a bit more. We can exploit their level and their knowledge in a better way. So it obviously is frustrating to see if they put up a video on Instagram and they're training with Kiklich and Kalle Koljonen and Nat and
but not.
I'm like, you should be training with the Danish guys, right? And I understand completely the situation, and it's not. I don't complain about what those guys are doing. They're doing what's best for them, so I completely understand. It's just in the situation I'm in, it would be better if they were more with us. And I hope they will be for the future. But I'll also say, I think for me it was a lot easier to say yes to the job because they are not there. Because I think I go into the job with almost no expectation of delivering any big medals for the next few years, because I'm not responsible for Victor and Anders. They're responsible for themselves. Obviously here at the World Championships I'm helping out, but it's actually his brother who's going to be coaching him. So I have some responsibility that he's performing here. He was training with us for 4 weeks also, but overall they're taking care of the training on the year.
So it takes a little pressure off.
It takes some pressure off, and I think it also makes it easier for me to focus on building up the next generation, which I think is a very interesting task, and makes it easier to take over for Kenneth, who is probably, if you look at the medals, the most successful Danish head coach ever. And I'm not the head coach, but still I'm the men's singles head coach. So it takes up some pressure, and I think it makes it easier for me to see that, okay, I'm not hired for 1 year. It's hopefully for like a long-term thing where I can get my own ideas aboard, and I don't have to win a gold medal here and now. My everyday work is more focused on actually developing the next generation, and not just the next, but the next few generations. That's what I'm hoping. So it's not just the coming one, but also the next one after that.
Okay, that kind of takes out the my next question, because it would have been, now it's your first World Championships as a coach. Do you feel like more tension or less tension than as a player?
Less, for sure, less tension. I think it's just in general when I'm off court, I think it's more relaxed as a coach, because obviously, I still have to perform in some way, but it's just not in any physical way or anything. It's worse for me when I'm on the chair coaching. I actually feel a lot more nervous as a coach than I did as a player.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything. Obviously, I can do something. I can give advice and stuff, but it's still the one on court that has to find the solutions and actually go out there and do it. So I can feel 10 times as nervous when I'm sitting there, basically. When you get on court, you just get into the rhythm and the groove, and you just play because that's what you do, right? But when we are sitting here and when I'm preparing the matches and stuff, I don't feel pressure at all so far. And I've also only been to very few tournaments in my new role. Yeah. So I've only been to Italian International and Macau Open as a traveling coach, and but in those situations I haven't really felt it. On Macau I was coaching the mixed doubles, Alexandra and Matthias when they won, and also Line Kristoffersen in the final, and like I felt I would say more joy and excitement that we were going into a final, and I felt happy for the players, but I never really felt before actually sitting on the chair and it gets tight. I didn't really feel pressure to perform, not in the same way.
Yeah, but I think in this situation on the chair, it's probably I can totally understand that some people say it's super exhausting sitting there, and afterwards you're super empty and tired, even though you didn't move a lot, maybe with your hands. But
it must be tough when you have those like really, really bad losses where you like lose 19 in the third, and then you have to go straight onto another chair and sit there. And it's that must be tough. I haven't really had much of that yet. On Macau, Alexandra and Matthias won the final, and I couldn't celebrate because I had to just go straight in with Line in the warm up and talk to her. She had been on her own, and so it was like it actually took a little bit away from the nice experience because I was already on to the next thing, right? But I think, just coming back to your question before, I think one of the big reasons why I don't feel the same kind of pressure is in this role. I feel like I'm already very good at looking at the long-term perspective. So like in Italy, when I was there for Italian series with William Bøvia, who's one of the young guys we have in the national team, he made a semi-final, which was great, but I was never really in that tournament focused on his result. I was more focused on what we're working on and how we're trying to make him a better player. Where when I was a player, one of the things I really struggled with was I was always thinking about the result. Obviously, that's when you go on court, you want to win, right? And I was not so good at looking just on the long-term perspective. So that adds more pressure because every match becomes basically life or death.
Sure.
It shouldn't be like that, but that's just how my mind worked, and I think a lot of athletes' minds work. That the next match is the most important thing.
I think it would be difficult if it would be not that way, because if you go into the match and be like, the development counts. Then you cannot probably be there 100% and super sharp.
For sure, the result part is what drives a lot of athletes. Also, I think I became increasingly better at also thinking in a developing perspective. But it's a lot easier for me as a coach because even if Anders loses here, he's maybe a bad example because he's already on the top. But if William Bøvia, if he had lost in the qualifying in Italy, it wouldn't change anything for me in terms of how much I believe he can become a good player. Now he made a semi-final, that was great, but it's exactly the same. I still believe just as much in him as I did before that tournament started.
But from your perspective now, like if he would go in with the same mindset, I think if you are going into a match, you have to go in with everything you have and fight. Like you have to go in there result focused kind of. But if after the match and you lost, then it would be the time to be more okay, but the development was good and I tried my best. But in the match situation, don't you think it's really important to have this?
I think it's important to find a balance in the match situation because of course, is it 20 all, you might go for the more safe shot, but if you're trying to work on something where being a little bit more patient in those situations, it's also important that you dare to do it and you accept that, okay, maybe in this match it will mean I won't win, but in the long run it will mean that I win more than I lose. But it's a lot easier said than done. and it will cost you a win, but there's also no guarantee that if you did what you always did and what you preferred, that you would have won either. So I think you need to find kind of a balance in it. If you're only focusing on winning, I don't think for long-term success, I don't think it's better now than having a more developmental mindset.
Yeah, that's maybe true. But another question regarding the topic that we had before with the training setups, do you think it's, because for me it looks like this going independent thing that some players did and that Victor and others do is, and also the Popovs, for example, in France, is it wasn't a thing 10 years ago. And now it's more and more like there's more and more good examples of showing that it works, kind of. Do you think this is a trend that is going to continue and that at some point federations might have to ask themselves, okay, but how do we react to this? Or is it something that is working now but not really long term?
I think the federations already need to ask themselves that question now, and they needed to start doing that already a few years ago. I definitely see a future where it's going to happen more and more because the money is still growing, and I think that's the main reason why this trend has started, because in my early days it wasn't really possible because you wouldn't earn enough money to hire a full team with coach and physio and just with enough money to travel and shuttles and renting courts, and there's a lot of expenses that goes into it, right? And it's definitely possible for more and more players to do it that way. I still see the federations, even if it's a growing trend, they will have a big role, because obviously you cannot afford to do it when you're 16, 17, 18.
So all the groundwork basically needs to be...
And I don't see that as a bad thing for the federations. I think federations' main goal is to develop the sport, and what better way to do that than focus on the younger players. So, but exactly when they need to make like a big switch into focusing only on that, I don't know. Maybe it's in 5 years, maybe it's in 25 years. I don't know how fast it's going to go, but I really don't see any signs of the trend slowing down in any way. And I think it's only good in terms of the how do you say that? Like
professionalism?
For the sport. I think it's I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty modern way of seeing it, probably. I can imagine that in federations often like structures are not changing that fast, and some people might see it a complete different way.
But I always said as a player, when I was also in the athletes commission, that I think federations hold too much power in general. And even though I'm working for a federation now, I still think it's true. I want it to be much more individual based. I still think it makes no sense that signing up for a tournament has to be through the federation, so federations can keep players out if they really want it. I know there are some rules that you cannot say no because of gender and all these kind of different things, but it's just a fact that some federations have been quite strict with this, and they're not just allowing anyone to play. I'm not a fan of that. I think it should, if you earn your right to play, then who am I to say you cannot go to Indonesia Open? If you're good enough, then why not let people play? Fortunately, there's never been any issues with the Danish Federation that I'm part of, but we've seen it before, right? So I'm still a big advocate for that make it even more individualized.
Some other question that I had in mind was because I think you were one of the first players where I really saw players promoting their sport on their own a lot, like an ambassador of the sport, basically, not only playing, but also, I mean, you had your podcast really early compared to other people doing it, and you had you did, like, always long Facebook posts and everything, trying a lot to, trying your best to document it and bring it to the people and to the fans. Is that, and I also thought maybe when you retire you would do more like that. It'd be more like I don't know, maybe for TV or anything else. Was that also on your mind for a while, and why did you do that? would be the question.
Yeah, so for sure it was on my mind. I also did commentary for Danish TV for 3 Olympics, and I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed doing the podcast, and I enjoy doing stuff like this and my social media. So I also say that was actually the main reason why I did my social media the way I did. I really found enjoyment in it. For all the bad comments you get, you always get 100 or 200 positive ones. I really felt like the time I invested in my social media was worth it, because I got so much good energy back. And I think, like, don't we all like getting praised and like acknowledgement and stuff like? And I got a lot of that, and I felt like it was not like superficial, because I tried to be as open, as honest and possible as possible. And I think that's also what people kind of felt, that they got the real version of me. I tried to share also when it didn't go well, when I lost matches and when I was frustrating and low on confidence and all these kind of stuff. For sure, in some situations it would have been better to stay more away from it, because it can take up a lot of energy, especially when you get into controversial situations, which of course also happened to me, also because I was outspoken about a lot of things that I didn't like. And then you will also get some that has a different view. And so I mostly did it because I enjoyed it. There was also another part of it, which was I think it was a good way to brand myself in terms of my sponsorships, which again is also for my career at an advantage. The more money you have, the better you can invest in your own career. Obviously, there's also, it's nicer to have a nice house and all these kind of things, right? So it was also with that in mind. But I would say when I started, that was not in my mind at all. It was something that followed along with it. The bigger the social media following became, and I branded myself that way, more opportunities arose from it. Did it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Totally. But is that might be harder to do now, working for the federation full time, right? For example, with your podcast that you did, that was quite successful.
Yeah, for sure.
We dream of those numbers, but we will get
yeah, for sure. You're doing great also. But I would also say the competition now is bigger, so there's more badminton content out there, which I think is only amazing. For sure, and there's lots of guys that are doing good jobs with that now. What was the question again?
If it is more difficult to do all this stuff now that you work for a federation, have this.
So now
kind of.
Now I'm not doing anything on my own anymore. I'm just focused fully on the job. I can still be a guest like I'm here. But doing anything on my own is I don't really think it's also possible, because I also spoke to Anders about it with the badminton experience, that the big advantage we had before was that I could speak freely. Like, of course, I had my club in Denmark, but there was nothing. I wasn't related to anyone who had anything with international badminton to do, so I could be honest about my opinions. And then someone can sit out there and think, but you can always be honest. But that would be great, but it just doesn't always work like that. If I thought my boss was an idiot, I wouldn't be sitting here on a podcast saying it, right? It would be
would be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So it just doesn't really
feel right.
No, exactly.
That makes sense.
So I won't be doing commentary, and I won't be doing podcasts and stuff, and I'm actually also trying to not be very active on my social media, which I'm doing completely on purpose, because I always struggled a little bit with coaches when they are talking about it like it's about them. I understand it, because you're a big part of it, but I'm just I really want it to be about the players and not about me. It doesn't mean I cannot sit here and talk and be a guest and so on, but if one of my players delivers a good result, I want them to have all the shine they can get, and it's enough for me to see their happiness and be part of the journey and follow their development. Others will see it a different way. I don't mind, but I don't want that for me. So I'm actually really trying hard to not be so active. I still check all the social media regularly, but I just don't post so much anymore.
Okay, that's also really interesting, because I mean, potentially people could see it the same way with kind of self-branding and having now your brand as a coach.
Yeah.
Similar to what you had as a player.
Yeah. That's for sure a very valid point. And I did think about that. I hope to be in this job for many years.
Yeah.
And I don't. Maybe again, it sounds a little bit arrogant, but if I do that well enough, I don't think I need to do any more branding to have opportunities also when I stop in this job.
Makes sense.
And again, it's not like I'm hiding completely. I'm sitting here. I will also be on TV for interviews and all this kind of stuff. So there's still a way to brand myself. It just won't be on Instagram and Facebook in the same way. And I'm not saying I'm never going to post anything. For sure, I can do that. It's just not after every single tournament.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, probably I also understand the point you make. But obviously, being in this position as men's singles coach of Denmark is also already really big in terms of what you can achieve as coaching positions in Europe.
Yeah.
So other coaches maybe have to do or want to do more to get a new opportunity. If kind of
everyone should do what feels right for them. I'm not saying that it's never felt right for me. If my coach was doing it, I would be a little bit annoyed.
Taking the weight.
And it doesn't mean you cannot post a photo. Like for example, Italy is a good example. Ditlev Jägerholm, he won, and then he asked me to come on the podium to take a photo. So we're sitting there together. I would never say no, and he's posting it. I can repost that. That's fine. But again, it's him who's taking the initiative. So. It's fine. For me, it would be different if I was saying, "Hey, can we do this?" and then I'll post it. It just wouldn't feel right for me, and that's why I'm not doing it. Other coaches and players, they can have a different relationship where it doesn't matter, and then it's fine. They can do that. But for sure, being Danish men's singles coach is honestly, for me, it's the highest position that I could dream of getting. I prefer it compared to being what Thomas Stavngard is now. He's the main coach, the head coach. I think it's for me better just to only have the men's singles because I can focus only on that. I also told the guys in the sense that that's the advantage for me compared to Kenneth. That Kenneth, he also needed to overlook the entire program. He couldn't focus just on men's singles. I can basically do that, which is also why I was a little bit shocked when I got the offer, because obviously my coaching career is extremely young. Crazy. And I start straight away basically with the job that I hold in the highest regard at all. And obviously being Dane, I think it's even more interesting to have that job, because I've been part of the Danish men's singles culture. I'm part of the history, and now it's basically my responsibility to make sure that we keep that going. So
crazy.
I don't know where you go from here, but fortunately, or hopefully, I also won't have to think about that for the next many years. I hope to sit in this position in many years to come.
We hope so too.
And that will mean it goes well.
That's true. Yeah, really cool. I think that's it actually. With all my questions, maybe two more. A little bit back to one classic question would be the best moment of your playing career.
No doubt winning the Thomas Cup was the best moment of my career. As I told you before, the All England, the Thomas Cup and the Olympics were my big three dreams. Not the World Championships actually, but those three. And achieving one of those life goals, I could say, was huge. And
you had that final match.
I had that final match. And
how nervous have you been going on court to that one? Or what was in your head?
I was not really nervous in the final. I was very nervous in the quarterfinal. And I always say that winning the quarterfinal against Japan, it was 2-2, and I also had to play the deciding singles. Winning that quarterfinal was what made it possible for me to perform the way I did in the semifinal and the final, because it was I had a very troublesome history with the Thomas Cup. The first time I was selected, I had to pull out like a few days before because I got some illness and problem with my leg. The next time I went, the day before, on the day we had to go, I woke up and I couldn't stretch, so like my back was like this. So we had to postpone, and I flew out 2 days after the others, and ended up, I played one match and I couldn't really play well. The next Thomas Cup, I had an issue with my foot where I was not training for 4 weeks leading up to the event. I ended up going and playing, and it didn't go so well. We lost the quarterfinal. So like there was always something happening. And then this was the first one where I actually got there. I was well prepared, and it was the first time I was in a position to actually perform and deliver for the team. And then I got that quarterfinal 2-2. It was against Japan, who were defending champions. And I was big favorite in the match because I think my ranking was 10, even though I was third man singles. I was 10 in the world at that time, which was pretty impressive for our team. And I played a guy called Richie Takeshita from Japan, he was like 30, 40 in the world, so obviously also good, but I was really favored to win. And I felt a huge amount of pressure. Because like my teammates had put me in this situation, and and I won quite comfortably in the first one, and then in the second one it became really, really close and got into setting. And when I won that, I almost felt like puking from just releasing the pressure.
Oh wow!
So it was like a huge like monkey off my back to finally get that win. And the next 2 days in the semifinal, I played second man singles. We were down 2-0, so I also had to win to keep us in. But I felt a bit nervous in the start, but as soon as we started playing, it was fine. And in the final, I just felt extremely well prepared, and I went on court with a feeling that I'm gonna win this one.
That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't have that same feeling in the other matches, but in that one, I just felt like this was what we prepared for. We knew going into the tournament, I was third man singles. I could be in these situations. And it's also the last thing Kenneth said to me before I went on court was just, this is what we prepare for. And I was just like, that's true. And it's just about going out and trying to do it. And I played amazing in that final. And also ended up winning that one quite comfortably.
Yeah, that's the dream. Like then you have this when you also then realize, okay, this is happening. This is the moment. You know.
Yeah. And I would say already quite early in the second game, I felt like this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. That was nice. Kenneth actually I think I got up 18 or 19-7 after a pretty nice rally, and then I'm looking out on Kenneth and I'm smiling a little bit, and then he's just like, no, you keep your focus, you stay focused. No, come on, like it's 18 or 19-7.
We've seen everything, but we've seen everything.
I'm gonna win, and then I win one more point, and then I'm looking at him like, can I be happy now? So that was a good moment.
Really cool. But I also totally understand his perspective. Because you've seen the wildest comebacks.
But that's for sure my best moment as a player. But there's many great ones. Making the semi-final of All England is also really, really up there, because I went into the tournament with absolutely zero expectations. Kenneth had already planned that we should have a meeting when we got home about like what do we do from here, because things were not really going in the right direction. Not at that tournament, but just in the general in that period. I had in the year before I had huge issues with my heel, and I was really struggling to get back on my level. And then all of a sudden I made that semi-final again in a tournament that I dreamt about as a kid. So that's also 1 week that was special for me.
And how did that meeting look like then?
It was a much nicer meeting actually. I didn't know at the time that it was planned to be a talk about like what do we have to do. He only told me that after when we had the meeting, that he said this meeting was actually meant to be something else, but now it was quite nice feeling to sit there with a very positive experience instead.
Also pretty good timing then.
And that was 2016, so it was in March. And then 2 months later, we were in the Thomas Cup.
Okay.
And then 1 month later, basically 3 weeks later, I won the Australian Open Super Series, which is the only Super Series I won. So that was pretty intense months, those ones.
Yeah.
In general, that was just a crazy year, 2016 for me.
I mean, crazy career overall. I think if you guys wanna know more about the whole career of yours, Ben Beckman did
he did a long documentary.
Really long 2-video documentary. I haven't seen it before. When I just was preparing for this one, I saw like, oh wow, that's. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Big shout out to Ben. Yeah, I did a long interview with him. Obviously, I know Ben also from his playing days. He used to be a quite good player also. And I've followed all the stuff he does online. And I've always been a little bit in touch with him after he started doing content. And he asked about that idea, and I was like, yeah, sure. I think that's some of the stuff that's also missing. And I know after he did the one with me, he's done more long formats with other even greater players than me. And I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
And the last one, now I'm jumping so much between playing and coaching and everything. Trying to confuse you. But the last question before we wrap it up, I think we're already, I don't know how many minutes.
It's long. It's a podcast.
It's a long podcast, yeah. The last question would be your goals as a coach now. Like, do you have like one, 2, 3 top goals, or do you have like one big goal, or how would you?
My one big goal is to maintain the proud tradition in Danish men's singles, and then it's up to you guys to define what that is. But that is my goal, that we keep Danish men's singles a powerhouse, not only in Europe but internationally. And I haven't set like a target that says, okay, that's developing 3 top 10 players, or that's winning so many medals. But I really believe in doing the right things consistently will get us there, and that's what I hope to do. So I've never really been big with goal setting and having targets like that. I never really did it much as a player either. Like measurable goals where you have like I need to reach this ranking and that ranking and win these tournaments. It's more been about like dreams and trying to be as good as possible, and that's the way I also would prefer to work as a coach. Then the people above me will for sure set some targets of how much we need to win, and I'll let them do that, because I'm afraid that if I start focusing and looking too much at that, I will lose my direction of what is right, because then I might look at, okay, it's important I win a medal now, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to go for this one in the long-term perspective. Maybe if I look more in the long-term perspective, we will win 3 medals in the future instead of just that one medal now. So that's my philosophy behind it. But it is a big goal for me to help maintain this proud tradition we have. And that doesn't come with just one good player. That needs many players, because we've had many good players in the past.
Amazing. Now I'm even more excited to follow it.
Yeah, great. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I think it was a really interesting episode.
It was my pleasure.
A little sad that it's only me and not the squad.
That'll be next time.
Next time maybe we come back with the whole gang, and then we have a little more things to talk about, and they also bring in their perspective, and that will be fun. Yeah, cool. But thanks a lot, and good luck for this tournament and for everything that comes.
Thank you so much. Great. That
Perfect.
Was a good one also.
Yeah. That's how we wrap it up. I have to take a little video of the setup, because that has to be in the video.
Yeah.
That's the setup.
Yeah, it would. Why not?
That's improvising on the next level. Yeah.
That's pro media work.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel I'm a little ashamed when I see some TV teams coming with like big lights and 5 cameras and everything. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, yes, I have